Okay, so disks and partitions. Before we dive into how they work on Linux, let's do a quick recap on what we know about them from a Windows perspective. So, in Windows, as you know, whenever we install a new physical hard drive, we go to a thing called a module in Windows called Disk Manager, and from there we can see all the disks that are installed on the computer. So we have right here Disk Manager open, and as you can see on my laptop I currently have two physical hard disks installed, one with the OS and another one for storage. Now on each physical hard disk you can either make a single big partition or you can split it in multiple partitions, and each partition you make you can mount it and use it as storage. Each partition you create and mount will be assigned a drive letter, and it will appear when you access File Explorer or My Computer. And of course, you know that Windows uses the file system NTFC, or for some older versions for compatibility reasons, FAT32. Now, in Linux, things are a bit different. The way Linux um, assigns a drive letter to a to a physical disk. Actually, it's more sort of a naming convention than an actual drive letter. So when you insert a physical disk in Linux, it will assign the name div slash SDA. SDA standing for storage disk A. That is if you have only one physical disk. If you insert another one, be it a USB drive or a hard drive, it will be slash dev slash SDB drive B, and so on and so forth. Insert another disk slash C slash D, and you get the picture. Now, these physical disks are just blank disks. They don't really have anything stored on them. They don't even have a partition table. When you format them and give them a partition table, Linux will split that name of SDA into the amount of partition numbers that it has. So if SDA has 3 partitions, it will list them as SDA1, SDA2, SDA3. And that's how you know how many partitions that particular disk has. The most common partitions used in Linux are ext2, 3, and 4. 3 being the most common and 4 being the newest form of partition table. Now, if you format a disk using a Linux partition table and then you try to use it on Windows, Windows will not be able to see that partition. It will just look at it and say, what the fuck is this? I don't know how to read this. So if you plan to make a disk that's readable both for Windows and Linux, you would have to format it in FAT32. Oddly enough, if you want to use an NTFS Windows formatted disk on Linux, Linux can read NTFS. So if you set up a system with dual boot and put Windows and Linux on it, and you primarily use Linux, you will have no issue reading what you stored on Windows. But the other way around, it doesn't work, at least not natively. You have to install third-party applications on Windows in order for you to actually read a storage device that's been formatted for Linux. Okay, let me just log in back to Linux. Okay, so if you want to see a list of the disks that are currently installed and used on a Linux OS, you just type in the command lsblkf, and as you can see, we have SDA, we have a single physical hard drive installed on this virtual machine, and it has 3 partitions. The first partition is formatted ext4, and here resides the main OS. This, I don't know what this is used for. SDA5, I'm guessing it's the swap file for RAM, like in Windows, page swap. And now when you look at this graph, you kind of understand what it represents. So I guess that's all related to disks and partitions. By the way, do you know why in Windows systems the drive letter starts from C and not from A? I'll give you a little hint. It has something to do with this ancient relic from the past for compatibility reasons. Anyway, that's all for now regarding disks and partitions. If you found this video useful, you can give it a thumbs up, post a comment below, and if you know a person or persons who would like to learn Linux, you can share this video around, and you can subscribe for more content. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.